Good evening, I'm Haley Wilkes.
And I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. Our top story, one of the busiest roads on the Sun Coast may soon get millions of dollars worth of upgrades.
The Florida Department of Transportation is now looking at possibly adding roundabouts and some other improvements to US 41 near the University Parkway area.
ABC 7's Rick Adams joins us now live from 41 with more on what could change along that stretch. Rick?
Yeah, Haley and Scott, so far these plans are in the very early stages, but if some folks have their way, this location here could have a roundabout as well as a few others.
Lots of accidents here and, lots of problems with just trying to pull out.
Guy Averill of Bradenton, like many other drivers on US 41, feels the challenges of driving on what could be the area's busiest thoroughfare. FDOT is now talking about different ways to make the roadway much more driver and pedestrian friendly, including adding roundabouts.
I think it's a great idea. If you've got a 6-lane road out here with a suicide lane in the middle, it makes it very hard making short turns from one to the other.
For those of us who travel here on US 41 around the University Parkway area, we all know how tricky and dangerous things can be. That's why FDOT is taking a good hard look at some solutions. What's being discussed is a $33 million project where roundabouts would be added at 4 different locations on US 41, including University Parkway, College Drive, the USF Sarasota Manatee entrance, and Braden Avenue. James has owned the Shell gas station and convenience store near College Avenue for 17 years now. He says he's all for the roundabouts.
Pretty good idea, I think. A lot of traffic we can control like that, I think. In a lot of places, I'm noticing that.
Beate Goldstein, owner of Mama G's on US 41, has mixed feelings about the roundabouts. She's not too sure it'll improve traffic problems, but she's confident it'll help foot traffic going into her shop.
Definitely will slow down the traffic. I don't know how good it is. For my business, it's probably better if people slow down.
In addition to the roundabouts, FDOT says they are considering cutting down the highway to 2 lanes in each direction from the USF Sarasota Manatee campus to University Parkway, as well as adding a median, bicycle lanes, and sidewalks. Bradenton resident Nikki Carlock isn't sold on FDOT's possible plans.
I think it's fine the way that it is. It's a lot of cars to be passing through a roundabout. I think a lot of people get confused.
FDOT tells us the earliest they would be able to begin an in-depth study on these US 41 improvements would be around the year 2022. During that time, they would also hold public hearings and workshops. And FDOT says if all goes well, work will not start here until the year 2029 at the earliest, so we still have a little bit of time. Reporting live from Sarasota this evening, I'm Rick Adams. Back to you.
All right, Rick, thank you. A major development out of Tallahassee today involving all potential voters in the state of Florida. A federal judge is extending the state's voter registration deadline now to October 18th because of Hurricane Matthew. The Florida Democratic Party and other groups requested the extension because the hurricane disrupted voter registration before the original Tuesday deadline. Democrats argued it was unfair for Governor Scott to warn residents to follow evacuation orders ahead of the storm and then refused to give people more time to register after the storm. Federal judge agreed, and anyone registered by the end of the day next Tuesday will be allowed to vote in the general election.
It's incumbent on the state to make it easier for people to vote, not harder to people to vote. I mean, that's what our country is all about, is voting. And I think it's a shame that that the state didn't do this without having to file the lawsuit.
Attorneys for the state did not argue a position during the hearing, which lasted about an hour. Last week, Governor Scott said he did not plan to move the deadline, saying everybody has had plenty of time to register.
The Sarasota County School Board is getting closer to selecting its next superintendent. For the majority of the day, the board conducted long interviews for 3 finalists: Brennan Asplin III, Todd Bowden, and Mark Porter. All 3 were asked multiple questions about why they are the right fit for this important job. One of the 3 men will replace the current superintendent, Lori White. And tomorrow, you will have a chance to meet with the candidates in person and give your feedback to the school board. A public reception will be held for the candidates in the Riverview High School cafeteria beginning at 6 o'clock. The school board is expected to make its final decision on our superintendent on October 18th.
Manatee County school officials decide when students will make up the school day lost to Hurricane Matthew last week. School board voting last night to make Monday, October 24th, a full day for students instead of a day off. The district had to close all schools last Friday to open 5 schools as storm shelters. Now, in September, the school district lost 2 days of school due to Hurricane Hermine. One day was made up last week. The second will be made up on December 7th. Winter break has also been adjusted and will now start on December 23rd.
And now we'll get a check on our forecast. Still feels pretty nice, but it's been a little cloudy. I'm starting to feel that humidity creep back in. It's coming back, yeah.
Here's Bob with more.
Yes, it is. Unfortunately, the humidity is going to be a little bit higher tomorrow morning, too, so you're going to notice that. It's been nice, though, hasn't it? A nice little taste of fall for a little while, anyway. We are looking at a few showers, too, moving across the sun coast at this hour. They're very light in nature. They're pushing off pretty quickly, so we're not expecting a lot of accumulation. Less than 1/100 of an inch for the most part. You can see some heavier activity moving through Charlotte Harbor, and also a few spotty showers near Siesta stretching off toward Anna Maria. Currently at the Sarasota Braden Airport, we have some clouds, 84 degrees. The dew point number, yes, is coming up. It was in the 50s for the past couple of days, now into the mid to upper 60s. And boy, this is coming up too to a possibility of a major hurricane. Top winds are at 110, could go higher over the next 12 hours. It heads directly toward Bermuda. We'll have more on Nicole coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Thank you, Bob. Northport doesn't have a hospital yet, but a new urgent care facility is now open.
The center at Tuscola Boulevard and US 41 offers a wide variety of healthcare services. ABC 7's Christopher Brantley shows us more.
Well, MedExpress is the company in charge of the new Northport urgent care. They said today that they saw a need in the community and they've worked to fill it.
Because all my doctors are up in Venice. This is closer.
We met Gary Braga as he walked into the MedExpress urgent care clinic for the first time. He told us he's been waiting for opening day.
We looked at Northport and we said, you know, there's a need for our services here. We really wanted to bring that affordable, high-quality care to this area so that patients had a secondary option.
This new clinic opens its doors in a time of medical uncertainty in Northport. A recent request for hospitals to build a full acute care hospital was denied by local health providers, including Sarasota Memorial Hospital.
Ultimately, you know, they're going to have an option now of a place to go to receive good quality medical care. You know, we have a full staff from physicians, x-ray techs, nurses, medical assistants, and even receptionists to help facilitate these patients' visits.
There are other urgent cares in Northport, including the Sarasota Memorial Hospital emergency room on Toledo Blade Boulevard. This new facility has similar abilities, but they say they add more.
You know, broken bones, we can do IV fluid therapy, we can do laboratory services. When talking more of, you know, wellness and prevention, we do sports and school physicals, we do injections.
And the list goes on. All in all, for Gary Braga, this new facility means less trips into Sarasota and Venice, now that he can see a doctor close to home.
I think it means a lot to people. It would save them money instead of driving to Venice or Port Charlotte. It's a good thing for Northport.
But there are still many people who would like to see a full-size hospital built. The city of Northport has created a task force. They're looking for members of the community who can work together to look into building a hospital. Christopher Brantley, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Christopher, thank you. An update now on Sarasota Memorial Hospital's plan to expand operations in Venice. The hospital is filing a new certificate of need application to the state in hopes of opening a hospital on its Laurel Road property. Last month, SMH decided to drop a legal challenge to focus on the application after the State Agency for Healthcare Administration rejected plans for an 80-bed hospital in Venice. Hospital officials also say they want to invest their resources in a new application rather than get stuck in legal proceedings. SMH is also looking at building a hospital in the Northport area. The state has until December to make a decision on the Venice proposal. A national championship is coming to Lakewood Ranch this weekend. The premier sports campus will host the 2016 U.S. Australian Football League National Championships. It's a nonprofit, volunteer-based league that's trying to grow Australian rules football here in the U.S. Coaching and youth clinics are also planned for the weekend. Activities get underway on Friday, and the event is free all weekend long. Still to come on your Suncoast News, frustrations growing in North Carolina as rising rivers and flooding is forcing thousands of people out of their homes for days. What's being done now to help those affected?
And ABC 7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your full weather forecast. Plus, later in Health Smart, a very promising finding for lung cancer patients, the big benefits related to immunotherapy. That's next.
Need new windows? Buy direct from the factory. New South Window is having a sale. The more you buy, the more you save. Buy 4 windows, save 25%. Buy 6 windows, save 30%. Buy 8 or more windows and save 35%. How? Because New South owns the factory and you cut out the middleman. Award-winning, energy-efficient windows and doors installed with a lifetime warranty. New South Windows are made in Florida for Florida homes by Florida workers. Visit newsouthwindow.com or call now.
Sometimes, when the course is difficult and you might take a step where you could fall, it's important to trust and ask for help. That's one of the most important things we learned at Tidewell's Teen Grief Retreat. On your grief journey, there are going to be difficult parts, but you have to trust in yourself and your support systems and know there are people around who will help you make it through. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Come experience the precision, performance, and power of the Ram 1500 during Ram Power Days at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Built tough enough to help you conquer whatever the day may throw your way with all the comfort, gizmos, and gadgets you'd find in a luxury vehicle. And right now, get over 20% off. That's up to $15,000 off a new Ram 1500. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
The official salon of ABC7. Cutting Loose Salon.
Types of timber, cuts of meat, cooking times, temperatures, rubs, seasonings, sauces. You name it, they know it. That's what makes them who they are, Sonny's Pitmasters. And proud of it. Come get some baby back ribs at Sonny's Barbecue. On their own or paired with favorites like jalapeno cheddar hot links or pulled or sliced pork plus 2 sides and bread. Sonny's Barbecue. Local Pitmasters since '68.
Now to the latest on the after effects of Hurricane Matthew in the southeast. More than 500,000 customers are still without power across 5 states, and the death toll is now up to at least 37. More than half of the victims happening in North Carolina, where dangerous flooding continues to force thousands of people from their homes. ABC's Elizabeth Herr shows us the constantly changing conditions.
With rivers still rising, frustration is growing where this dam in Moore County, North Carolina, with a hole the size of a fire truck, is prompting mandatory evacuations.
If I die, I want to die at home. I don't want to die somewhere else because a man told me I couldn't stay at my house.
They can't blame this on Matthew. It didn't help the situation, but that dam is the problem and the reason we're evacuated right now.
But officials maintain the torrential rain from Hurricane Matthew is to blame, that multiple rivers across the state continue to swell to record levels, flooding entire neighborhoods and leaving thousands in need of rescues, many of them now in shelters after losing everything.
We don't have nothing, no clothes, no shoes, no nothing.
The governor says this is the worst flooding the state has ever seen, warning residents the danger is far from over.
If you're living below Wood Lake Dam, you need to get out. And I understand there may still be people refusing that. We've had too many deaths. Get out.
But some remain defiant, vowing to return home at the end of the day.
I'm going to get home one way or another if I have to walk on water like Jesus.
Well, according to officials, until the dam is inspected and deemed safe, residents will not be allowed back in their homes. And forecasters say some of those swollen rivers in North Carolina could stay at major flood stage through Sunday. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
Wildlife officials say Hurricane Matthew destroyed some 800 sea turtle nests in South Florida as it skirted up the Atlantic coastline. The nests were damaged in northern Palm Beach County, but a Loggerhead Marine Life Center data manager says the impact was minimal because it's a record-breaking year for nesting. Some 15,000 nests had already hatched along the 10-mile stretch of beach monitored by the facility before last week's storm. But 63% of the 1,200 nests, most of the green turtle nests that had not yet hatched, were lost to the hurricane. About 450 nests are still incubating. So even though we lost a lot, we started off with more.
Yeah,
so the net is still good.
And we saw the impact just with tropical storms here.
Here along the west coast of Florida. Yeah, absolutely. And another big storm out there now. It could be a major hurricane, Nicole. And on top of that, we talked about it yesterday. Models are hinting at maybe something developing in the Caribbean in a couple of weeks. And I don't say that with just talking about a storm, but I just want to let people know that there's still a lot of the season left to go, and the west coast of Florida typically has a problem with late October storms, so we'll have to keep an eye on what may be popping up down there in the western Caribbean. But boy, you got to look at this. An amazing storm heading right for, can you believe it, Bermuda, and it looks like it's on a course to maybe make landfall there, which is pretty amazing considering how vast the Atlantic Ocean is, and that one little tiny island right there may see the full force of this 110-mile-an-hour storm, but possibly even higher because it does have a chance to actually intensify over the next 12 hours before it makes landfall. Well, the Lakewood Ranch webcam showing a lot of sunshine this morning, a lot more than we saw yesterday, and then the clouds came and then the rain came as well. Just a little bit of rainfall around, not much. The showers aren't sticking around all that long and should not really accumulate too much as far as rainfall totals go. And get a look at this morning's shot. There were some clouds early in the morning. Anna Maria Pier, Brian Blaine getting this, who works out there on the pier, sending this photo into Facebook. Appreciate that. And sustained winds. They've been out of the northeast for the last couple of days. That's not going anywhere. That's going to stick around, and that means anywhere from 10 to 15-mile-an-hour winds up and down the coast through the evening, subsiding somewhat after midnight, but we'll see that northeasterly flow continue throughout the day tomorrow. So this will happen. Clouds will move in from the east to the west, and once in a while in the afternoon, just enough heating of the day to create some low top showers. We will start off tomorrow morning a little bit more humid, too. You'll notice that temperatures will be pretty much in the low 70s or right around 70 degrees. And not nearly as cool as it has been the past couple of mornings, but still not bad. Siesta Key getting some light rainfall right now. Also Longboat Key, off into Bethany, some showers, some pretty heavy showers now into Charlotte Harbor, just to the west of Punta Gorda near El Jobin, up to Tarpon Point, all spreading off toward Inglewood and Minnesota. Now temperature 84, cloudy skies. This number is important. The other day, just 2 days ago, it was in the 50s at this time. Now in the mid 60s, and north to northeast winds at 8 miles an hour. Temperatures currently across the state also warming up. It's 84 now here, 83 in Tallahassee, 84 in Pensacola, 80 into Orlando. And around our area, you see temperatures generally into the low to mid 80s near the coast, into the mid 70s where those showers are moving through, and a little bit closer to the Atlantic there in Sebring, Lake Placid, and Avon Park. Well, tomorrow's forecast, a little bit more sunshine in the morning, but we'll follow it up with clouds and a few brief showers like we're seeing for today. Well, there it is, reconnaissance aircraft indicating this system is getting better organized. And you can see that from the satellite imagery quite clearly, of well-defined eye and very, very much round in appearance here. So it is heading off toward the northeast now, and eventually is going to turn in that direction of Bermuda and possibly be a major hurricane. It's moving to the north at 10 right now, and we think it's going to be a 3 when it hits, and if it hits, it will cause some significant damage there because that's a major hurricane. Even though Bermuda is a well-fortified island, there's still a chance it could see some major damage there with that one. Got to look at this. Temperatures into the upper 80s here because nothing's going through here. As far as Matthew is concerned, it did go through here, and so it's cooled down a little bit, but still has enough energy to produce and possibly sustain another storm before the season's over. Northeast winds 10 to 15 knots out there. Seas will be 2 to 4 feet with a moderate chop on the bays and inland waters. Pretty much the same story on Friday and continuing into the weekend. Tides on your screen. Tonight, a breezy evening, partly cloudy, a bit warmer, a few passing showers and northeast winds at 5 to 10. Tomorrow, again, a few afternoon sprinkles, otherwise morning sunshine followed by afternoon clouds, a high of 87. The extended forecast does call for a delightful weekend with a chance for a few late day showers at 20% for everyone. Scott?
Bob, thank you. In Suncoast Traffic Watch right now, no crashes in the area, but we are seeing traffic backed up on the I-75. This is in the northbound lanes right near Fruitville Road. Haley?
Thank you, Scott. In health news tonight, what some are calling a new day for lung cancer. New clinical data shows Merck's Keytruda immunotherapy offers big benefits in previously untreated lung cancer patients, either when given on its own or with chemotherapy. Used alone, Keytruda cut in half the risk of disease progression and decreased overall deaths by 40% compared to chemotherapy alone in certain patients whose tumors had been tested using a biomarker. And when given with two older chemotherapy drugs, Keytruda was almost twice as likely to shrink tumors as chemotherapy alone. The FDA has determined the widely used blood thinner Xarelto to be safe and effective for patients with the heart condition atrial fibrillation. This is after serious doubts arose over the study used to gain initial approval of the drug. It was later found out a device used in that study was faulty. The FDA now says it has determined that the effects from Xarelto on strokes or bleeding, including bleeding in the head, are minimal. Blood thinners, including Xarelto, are used to help keep the risk of stroke down in patients with AFib. Shellfish from Maine have been recalled after samples tested positive for high levels of a dangerous neurotoxin. The recall notice issued by the Maine Department of Marine Resources applies to mussels and mahogany quahogs, another name for clams, that were harvested in certain parts of Maine in late September. Samples tested contained an unsafe amount of domoic acid that can cause amnesic shellfish poisoning in humans. In severe cases, that poisoning may lead to neurological symptoms like short-term memory loss, disorientation, seizures, and even death. Coming up, the unanswered question surrounding a deadly plane crash, why investigators think it could have been intentional. And if you find a diamond here, well, you can keep it. How one father and daughter duo ended up with their lucky gem.
ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
You only have one life. Are you gambling with it? 1 in 3 adults have high blood pressure. Not knowing your numbers could cause you to lose, big time. Luckily, you can turn the odds in your favor by getting your blood pressure checked today. Don't leave your health to chance. Learn more at heart.org/HPB.
If you have a suspicion for harboring prostate cancer, we have a way of diagnosing by using an exquisite instrument called three-dimensional color flow power Doppler ultrasound. Using this system, we can identify abnormalities within the prostate that you could otherwise never detect. The Dottoli Cancer Center is the only center in the southeastern United States which has this technology. If you have prostate cancer, we will find it.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Getting older shouldn't mean giving up all the things she loves to do. It should just mean, well, finding new ways to do them. Right at Home's professional team thoughtfully selects caregivers to provide help with personal care, housekeeping, and of course, meal preparation.
Oh, that smells so good. Oh, and it tastes good too.
We can provide the right care right at home.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
FBI agents are in East Hartford, Connecticut, investigating whether someone intentionally crashed a small plane. The Piper PA-34 took off from an airport in Hartford yesterday afternoon with a student pilot and an instructor on board. Witnesses say they saw the aircraft plunging into a busy street, hitting power lines before bursting into flames. The plane crashed near a factory that produces military and commercial jet engines. The student pilot died, but the instructor survived.
3 poles, when it hit the last one, it just boom.
Power just went out and work, and then everyone just ran outside.
He hit a pole just behind me. Then he came in and landed, and I actually thought it was part of the plane that was falling off.
The instructor is now reportedly telling investigators the crash was, quote, not an accident. Police say the plane had 2 control panels, and they're now working to determine who was flying the plane when it went down. An aging bridge in Little Rock, Arkansas did not go down without a fight. The Broadway Bridge was scheduled to be imploded yesterday morning, but detonations failed to collapse the span. It seemed the engineers underestimated the 93-year-old bridge's structure, saying they didn't use enough dynamite. It took 5 hours and a barge to finally bring the stubborn thing down. Engineers there say the bridge was so strong it could have lasted another 100 years. So why tear it down?
Wow. A 90-year-old Pennsylvania man who left school to fight in World War II is now finally a high school graduate. George Frykowski was presented with his diploma by his grandson, very emotional there, who is a vice principal in the school district. George left school in 1944 to fight in the war. When he came back, he joined the labor force instead of finishing school. On Tuesday, he received his diploma, and he invited his family was invited to a board meeting where he thought he was going to lead the Pledge of Allegiance. Well, George says getting his diploma is a very big deal.
I was really surprised. Never expected this.
We wanted to surprise him, and David did a great job, so we're happy.
George Frykowski ended up receiving an honorable discharge and a Purple Heart. Now he can add this to his accolades. A trip to the park ends in a big jackpot for one man and his daughter while visiting the Crater of Diamonds State Park in Arkansas. They came across a 2-carat rock. There's no word yet on how much it's worth, but they say that it is way more than the $16 that they paid to get into the park, so they definitely got their admission and then some back. They plan to keep it and call it their lucky diamond. Arkansas is the only diamond producing site in the world where anyone can come and look for gems and keep whatever they find. Future engagement ring, or
just maybe needs a little polishing.
Yeah, turn it into something nice. College tuition. I mean, I'm thinking a different idea. Yeah. Still to come on your Suncoast News, an alarming report involving State College of Florida.
Auditors say some employees were not properly screened. How SCF says the mishap happened, straight ahead.
Whether you're a homeowner looking for a professional installation or a contractor looking for top quality products, Sarasota Glass and Mirror can meet your every need.
For 42 years, Sarasota Glass and Mirror has been the area's premier supplier and installer of quality glass products for your home or business. As an authorized PGT WinGuard dealer, we know how to protect your home with everything from the PGT WinGuard impact-resistant windows and doors to shower enclosures and decorative mirrors. The Sarasota Glass and Mirror team has the knowledge to tackle any project.
They care. They take the time to understand you, take the time to understand your case.
There's no better satisfaction to me than to see a client who is happy because of the job we've done for them.
It's really actually very comforting to know that there's someone that you've heard of and you're getting recommendations about that you can turn to when you have a problem.
I felt like I had a partner in this, and he was going to be by my side.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Gold fever has once again swept the nation, and everyone is rushing to Florida to strike it doubly rich. Introducing the $5 million Gold Rush Doubler. We're doubling cash prizes for over $752 million in payouts, and 36 prizes from $1 million to $5 million. The Florida Gold Rush is on. The Florida Lottery, just imagine.
The kitchen is where life happens. Minnesota Flooring now offers a wide variety of beautiful quality craft-made cabinetry to make sure the heart of your home reflects your style. Visit us today at our new kitchen and bath cabinetry locations.
Being the caregiver for my husband is truly a blessing, but sometimes it's easy to lose a part of myself. To be my best, for him and for me, it's important to have time to be able to recharge. When I called Tidewell Hospice, they gave me the chance to do just that. They helped me find the time to care for myself, all the while with the peace of mind of knowing my husband is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.